The new overlords of Bubbleville, the Villanova Wildcats, they just can't go home. Their fourth game here in the Bubble. Villanova plays the local kids from the University of Hartford. The Wildcats and the Hawks, Kevin Brown, John Crispin. Villanova will get a chance to see the Wildcats, John, respond from an early loss. They fell to Virginia Tech in overtime on Saturday.
Well, if there's any team in college basketball that you would expect to see a strong and really sure response from, it would be a Jay Wright basketball team that's led by a guy like Colin Gillespie. Colin Gillespie got off to a great start in terms of scoring the basketball. The problem was it was a lot of ISO ball, less balance, less rhythm, less flow, and this is a team that is better when he is a facilitator and scorer. When you facilitate and score, everybody participates, everybody's interested, and everybody has a little more fun. This team, this is a player. Moses Flowers is a guy that can get up and down the floor, but what I like is a guy, he can defend a lot too. And he's going to have to defend. You're going to see a lot of switches, but what they do defensively will determine whether they can compete in this game.
Well, that's a good start defensively. It was taken away by Austin Williams. He has it taken away from him. And a jump ball 6 seconds into the game.
It's like a third-grade basketball game. Like jump ball leads to another jump ball.
I guess possession will go to Hartford here, right? Villanova got the opening possession for a second after the tip, or are the officials just going to re-jump it? All right, Hartford ball. They did indeed. Starting lineups brought to you by Liberty Mutual. It's a good Hartford team at the America East level. They've won more than they've lost in 3 consecutive seasons. First time in school history. Tracy Carter, a grad transfer, has played against Villanova at Marquette and LaSalle in his career. Moses Flowers, Hunter Marks are the big players for Hartford. Usual starting 5 for Villanova: Gillespie and Robinson Earl, the All-American candidates, and Caleb Daniels, the Tulane transfer, has fit in nicely. This is Jermaine Samuels off to Gillespie. Daniels, and Caleb Daniels opens the scoring with a 3.
Well, already better movement. I mean, you sit down, you watch what's happening, watch how the defense is rotating, good offside action for the offense, drive into the paint, kick to an open 3. That's better balance than we saw pretty much all last game from Villanova.
Hartford Hawks, 3rd in the America East last year. They were just about to depart for the America East Championship when the season was canceled due to COVID-19. They were the 3 seed. They beat Stony Brook on the road, and we're going to play for their first NCAA tournament bid. Head coach John Gallagher has pretty much everybody back from that team. There's Justin Moore, the second-year Wildcat. And Moore hits a triple. Gillespie 2 more and 2 threes to start for Nova.
Well, it's tough if you're Hartford because you feel like you played good defense, but you've given up 2 open 3s.
Carter was on the out-of-bounds line. That's a turnover. Jay Wright, we asked him why he wanted to stick around in Bubbleville even longer. They were supposed to play 2 games. After the Arizona State win Thursday night, about 1:45 in the morning, decided to stick around and play Virginia Tech. And then after that game, they decided to stick around and play Hartford. Villanova's game against St. Joseph's was scheduled for this week. St. Joe's is on COVID pause, so Jay Wright said, look, we're happy to be in here because we know the teams in here are clean. We know the games will get off safely, and we needed another game after losing St. Joe's.
Well, I also think Jay Wright showed a lot of respect before the game for Mike Young when he talked about how, gosh, do we really want to play Virginia Tech? Now, it's not just about the program, it's about what you have to get your guys prepared for, and what Mike Young does at Virginia Tech is a challenge to prepare for.
Tracy Carter misses a 3, offensive rebound. Flowers, he cannot stick it back. And Moore has the ball for Villanova. Hartford 0 for 4 to start. Here's Daniels around a Robinson Earl screen. And a high-flying rebound pulled in by Tracy Carter, 6th-year player out of Philadelphia. Recruited by Villanova. Has gone from Marquette to LaSalle to now his 2nd year at Hartford. This is Thomas Webley, 6'10" freshman from New Zealand. Webley back from Hunter Marks. A front court of Marks from Australia and Webley from New Zealand. John Gallagher, most wins in the Division I history of Hartford. He's been playing D1 ball since 1985. He is effusive about this team and about this program. 3 consecutive winning records, first time in the school's D1 era. They bring back 6 of their 7 top scorers from last year. And he's a Philly guy too. Jay Wright and John Gallagher know each other. Went to St. Joe's, assistant coach at LaSalle and at Penn before getting his job.
Well, it's probably why he wants to kind of serve their neighborhood, their community well. Represent the community as the Hartford basketball team and represent it in a good way. The city guys, whether it's the boroughs in New York or the neighborhoods in Philly.
2 free throws there for the freshman Webley to put the Hawks on the board. Cole Swider first off the bench for Villanova. And Cole Swider rattles home a 3 on his first touch.
Yep. Marks came out and defended that pretty well. He was calling it out, communicated, actually showed and contested. But Swider's a lights-out shooter. That's the one thing you cannot allow him to do, force him to be a dribbler.
Flowers splits the trap, and there's a Villanova foul.
You show, you're present. Here it is, going to be a little ball screen situation. He's calling it out, I'm there, just not there quickly enough. Swider's also not 6 feet tall. Like, he's a guy that can get a shot up over anybody.
And 2 early fouls on Daniels, so Jay Wright has to go right back to the bench for Brandon Slater. Jay Wright was asked about playing the bench after the Virginia Tech loss. Gillespie played 43 minutes. Robinson Earl 41, the other 3 starters 38 or more. And he said in plain Jay Wright fashion, I screwed up. I got locked into our veteran guys. I want to get Dixon and Swider and Slater more playing time today. Robinson Earl from Slater misses the 3, kept alive by Swider, and then Slater's going to be called for a push-off foul. 3 threes early for Villanova, looking to get back in the win column. ESPN's got everybody. The only scholarship player gone is Sadiq Bey, but 4 starters are back, all double-figure scorers from last season. And it's a Villanova team that wanted to be a little bit deeper, but Brian Antoine and Demir Cosby-Roundtree are still out, and Jay Wright has relied on the starters more heavily than he would have liked so far.
Well, I think that's why you see Swider in early. You know, you get a guy in early, get him in the game, help him get a rhythm early so you can trust him down the stretch. I think that's the hardest thing to do is you want to get guys time, but it's got to be earlier in the game, not later. Usually you think to get him in the game in the second half.
There's a near takeaway by Gillespie, and Robinson Earl will come up with the Villanova steal. Second Hartford turnover. All 6 Villanova shots have been from deep. Slater takes the first 2-point attempt and left it short. Here's Moses Flowers, 24 points in Hartford's opener against UConn, and his miss is stuck back. Freshman Thomas Webley has the first 4 for Hartford.
Webley's going to be a bit of a load. He's not going to run out and set a lot of ball screens. He's going to be present, and that's tough when you're trying to rebound on the defensive end.
Only 2 points in his college debut against UConn on Friday. Already has doubled that. More off the penetration from Gillespie. Offensive rebound to Slater. Sticks it back, no. Fights for his own miss, and Slater crashes hard to the ground. And Hartford will take it over.
Guys that hang around the rim are hard to keep off the glass. He's post position. Wherever the ball comes off, he's got a chance. And when you're so close to the rim, you as a defender trying to block out are not in position to rebound. Not a lot of big guys play like that anymore. You know, we don't play a lot, throw it into the post. It's big guys who shoot. We had Matt Harms last game. He's looking to shoot threes as much as he's looking to post.
A couple of big guys on this Hartford team for beating the America East. They've got some height, 6'9", 6'10", 6'11". There's a slash from the 6'9" Marks, and Eric Dixon off the bench has the Villanova rebound. Swider. Offensive rebound, Dixon creating space, and he created it illegally with an offensive foul.
That's like 250 pushing into 150. No offense to Marks. I mean, look, it's just Dixon's a monster. I mean, you know what? That was a great acting job, because he did gather himself and kind of power dribble into him, but that's not what pushed Marks to the ground. Somebody might have opened a window.
Are there windows around here?
Feels like it. I'm chilled.
Haven't seen fresh air in a couple of days.
Probably from the poor shooting from BYU last game.
Spinorama, Hunter Marks. All 150 pounds of him. Technically, he's 6'9", 190, by the way.
He's a player. He really is. He's a versatile player. And sometimes those guys who are slim, skinny, whatever you want to call it, they know how to use their strength. We call it wiry strength in the game of basketball. You guys learn how to use strength, whether you really are built that way or not.
Here's a three from Dixon. Robinson Earl soars for the rebound. Another offensive rebound for Villanova, which has dominated the offensive glass. And Schweider is fouled by DJ Mitchell.
Marks is a tough matchup because he makes good reads. Schweider not the best defender on the floor, but dribble handoff situation requires a lot of communication. If you don't communicate, you get yourself off balance. You get yourself off balance, you get beat. Sounds easy, right, Kevin?
Sounds easy, yeah.
If it was that easy, I might still be playing or at coaching or something. Instead, I'm just talking about how easy it is.
Well, that's why we're here, because we can make it sound easy. Those who cannot do, talk. Dixon, and Dixon is fouled. This will be a chance for a three-point play. The tip-in off the Gillespie miss.
How often do you see that, right? The tip-in and one. You see lob and ones, but there's not anyone on the floor that's going to be able to keep a guy like Dixon or even Robinson Earl off the offensive glass if they're in position down low.
Redshirt freshman, 6'8", 260. And we have a lane violation, so Dixon will get to reshoot.
He's on the first team all might be a tight end.
Oh, yeah. I look at him and I think about, remember when Antonio Gates played basketball at Penn State?
I played against him, yes.
You did?
Yes.
How'd that go?
We won. He was a better football player. But I think, when I was back at ESPN, years ago, I was doing 810, and I remember saying the same thing about Mo Alley Cox. And here I hear his name on Sundays called, scoring touchdowns as a tight end.
He's my fantasy tight end for a couple of weeks. The Colts got all their tight ends healthy again.
So then you dropped him?
Yeah.
Jeez. Demand greatness.
I too demand greatness. Unfortunately, my team is 5-5-1. I have a tie somehow. Here's Webley with a flip in. Thomas Webley, the freshman, showing a nice touch with an early 6.
Nice touch, but he also gained a little ground against Dixon. We're talking about how strong Dixon is, but Webley went right at him.
6'10", 240 Webley. That's the list price anyway. Dixon spins around and scores. That's high level for Eric Dixon.
He did the most Villanova thing, and I'm saying this in a positive way. He caught the ball, he saw double teams potentially or a dig down from the guard, and he chinned it. He held it, he let the defense get back out, and then he made his move. It's just real simple, fundamental basketball that everybody else can be doing too.
Off the give and go, an open three, missed by P.J. Henry. Samuels back on the floor. Inside Dixon again. Eric Dixon leads the way with 7.
I like how they're playing with Dixon down low because it also allows Jeremiah Robinson Earl to be more of a facilitator, a ball mover, and a pick and pop guy around the perimeter. It's actually providing more balance just with his presence alone.
He scored the last 7 points for Villanova. Robinson Earl and Gillespie don't have any. All 8 of Hartford's points have come from players from Australia or New Zealand. Hartford, an international destination. I'll show you just how international. You go down under. Hunter Marks, a starter from Australia. Thomas Webley from New Zealand. 5 different countries represented, 8 different states. They have a player from Anchorage, Alaska as well. Asked John Gallagher about this, and he said it's just the connections you make along the way. It's nothing specific. It's not like the program philosophy was let's go to the far corners of the world. Right now, the international players are shutting out the American ones.
The international market is high.
Yeah.
Now, the far corners of the world market, that's the challenge. I'm always surprised when you find a guy from a small town in the middle of wherever, let alone New Zealand.
Great feed there. Webley to Austin Williams, the Maris transfer for 2.
And look, there's a lot to be said about the different skill set, the feel that some of these guys have. Well, a lot of that comes with the way we play at a younger age, right? We play at a younger age. You play with guys your age, and you know, it's go, roll the balls out, play a U-ball, showcase your talents. They learn the game. They play club ball. It's a little bit more of a controlled environment. You're learning from the older guys that you're around.
John Gallagher, he did say, too, you know, you get players who are from Europe and Australia, international players on campus. They typically tend to stick around on campus. They're not going home as much during the offseason as some of the American players.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a 24-hour flight to go home, right? It's not like you can pop in, grab a home-cooked meal, and fly back.
8-point lead for Villanova. Colin Gillespie just scored his first basket. Wildcats' 4th game in the bubble. Tracy Carter steps into a long one. That is a 2 at the moment. It'll be reviewed. John Gallagher is holding up 3 fingers on both of his hands, but this is going to be looked at.
See, if you're John Gallagher, that's what you like, because you got to switch. You got a switch that gave your guard an advantage, and when Dixon dropped off, you just pull the shot if you're Carter. And frankly, that's what Virginia Tech did very well. They recognized switches. Big shot for Slater. They recognized switches and they attacked. And I think a lot of that came from what they saw when Villanova played Boston College. In the first half, Boston College got downhill when they got the right matchup.
Hartford 5 of 8 after an 0 for 5 start. And a takeaway here. Moore is fouled in transition. Moses Flowers called the personal. We are just about 2 hours away from the State Farm Champions Classic, the 10th annual. Both games on ESPN and the ESPN app. Michigan State and Duke, numbers 8 and 6 from Cameron Indoor. And then Kansas and Kentucky, 9:30 Eastern from Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. What are you looking forward to in those games?
I want to see if some of the young guys can grow up quickly, because they're going to have to. You think about the talent, Kentucky and Duke. Guys have to grow up quickly. That's just, it's a challenge. I think this is the year where experience may win out.
A 3 for Justin Moore. Villanova has hit 5 3-pointers to start the game.
I usually get very vague answers about that stuff, because like, the more you know the game, the more unpredictable you know it'll be. So what I want to see is things develop. I want to see experienced teams look polished before you'd expect them to look polished. I want to see young guys develop quicker, because this is a shortened season.
Austin Williams on the attack for 2 for Hartford.
And there are times, too, like earlier this season, I said Villanova did look pretty polished. Room for improvement. Then they played Virginia Tech, and you realize they're vulnerable. Same thing went for Virginia.
Off the Moore turnover, here is Hunter Marks, and Marks was out of bounds. A couple of times Hartford's had a player step on that particular sideline. Carter first, then Marks.
I wonder what it is, because that's happened a few times, not just today, but also throughout the course of this. I don't know what day it is anymore, but of course the last 5-6 days, I'm not sure how long we've been here.
I believe it's Tuesday.
This sideline is Tuesday. Thank you.
It's Tuesday, the 240th day of March, I think. I'm being told this is day 8 of games. I have no way to confirm or deny that. It's just the voices I'm hearing in my head.
It's a lot of trust.
Well, I typically believe what you say. I tend to trust my partners. Justin Moore is fouled. Villanova leads by 10. But maybe it's going to be 9 once that 3 is reviewed. Trust me. Creighton, the #1 seed in the Big East tournament Last year, Villanova was right behind them. They shared the title along with Seton Hall. Well, Jay Wright said he wanted to play his bench more in this game, and so far that has worked out beautifully. 13 points already. Villanova's leading scorer right now is Eric Dixon, who had 2 points in the first 3 games combined. He's got 7 already.
Well, there are different types of games and different types of matchups. This matchup for Villanova with limited prep, right? There's not too much to go on. You're going to go out here and say, guys, we're going to focus on ourselves. We are really going to focus on cleaning some things up, communicating better defensively, moving the basketball a little bit more, cycling in some more bodies, which means communication has to be at an all-time high, including the guys on the bench. If you're cycling more bodies, guys on the bench need to be aware of what's going on.
2 for 2 for Justin Moore. He leads the way now with 8 for the Wildcats. Moses Flowers back in the game, controlling the ball. He has 2 fouls, but they need him to have a chance. 24 points on Friday in the loss to Connecticut. And that is out of bounds. Last touch by Flowers. Another Hartford turnover. Tomorrow on ESPN and the ESPN app, the 26th annual Jimmy V Classic, and it is a good one. Number 1 Gonzaga against West Virginia, 7 Eastern. Then a top 5 battle between Baylor and Illinois at 10 Eastern. Both games at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Jay Wright said yesterday on a Zoom call with the media that Mark Few's been calling him and telling him, come meet us in Indianapolis. Come meet us halfway.
You seem like you'll take a game.
Yeah. Justin Moore powers his way in. He's got 10.
It's really become like the who's got next type of thing. Right? And especially here, team drops out and you have an opportunity to pick up some games. Welcome. Water's warm.
And Villanova has lost 2 Big 5 games already. Supposed to play St. Joe's Temple this week. Both those teams on COVID pause. Moore with a rejection, but a foul is called. And a foul is not against Moore.
That is a remarkable, just kind of turn of events. They were here before Thanksgiving. Just thought they were going to play a couple games, and it turns out to maybe we can hang around and get another one. And that game happened to be Virginia Tech. Now, Virginia Tech, I go back to it, the respect Jay Wright showed to Mike Young when he's like, yeah, I want the game, but man, Virginia Tech, that's a lot to get ready for because of the way they play, because of the way they move it, the way they space it. And it's great preparation. I think people get so caught up in losses, but in the college basketball game, you don't need to worry so much about a loss. It's about who your team is in February, March. That's really what matters the most, so long as you've done enough to get to postseason.
As we all certainly expect this Villanova team to do. 14 of 15 years in the tournament. By the way, the official over by the scores table, Todd Austin, had signaled 15. That was Thomas Webley, 15, shooting the free throws, so that was cleaned up. The foul was charged to Moore, number 5. It is his first. Swider, and Cole Swider off the bench, just hit a couple of threes already.
Yeah, you've got to be aware of shooters, and the bench has to call out shooters. You have to know, you have to get your hand up, and with Swider, he's not going to put it on the deck and dunk on anybody. I mean, he's not that physical type of player, but he wants to shoot. You got to take that away.
Carter over Swider. Tracy Carter elevates and scores. And that leads to a timeout called by Hartford. 30-second timeout. Back in a half minute to Bubbleville.
It's more than just a gift. Come into Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's to find great gifts that give memories that last forever. Don't miss Black Friday pricing throughout the whole month of December, in-store and online.
Villanova started 3 of 6 from the field, missed 6 in a row. Wildcats 8 for their last 9, shooting at 52% early. And what so far is a nice response after the Saturday night loss to Virginia Tech. Certainly a game Villanova is expected to win, though. No coach will ever say, yeah, we're going to win this game. Jay Wright beforehand concerned with Hartford and their guards. Villanova has handled them pretty cleanly in the early going. Dixon could not convert, and the ball dribbled away by the junior DJ Mitchell.
I always get a kick out of that because coaches are like, oh yeah, they do this really well. Oh, this guy's good, he can do this. You always wonder, like, what are they saying about you then? You know, Jay Wright's saying that, but what is Coach Gallagher saying about you?
Moore hits a three. He's got a baker's dozen early on.
You know, that one all set up by the fake pass, the fake swing, as if we're going to swing it back to the right side. Gillespie shows with his chest, his eyes, and the ball. Gets it back to Moore in the corner. Yet the entire defense of the backside shifted.
And Dixon is playing some tough minutes down low, although there, Eric Dixon is going to be whistled for the foul.
It's an opportunity to swing the basketball. You're going to have Slater and Moore on that side. There it is. He looks away, freezes the defense. They're frozen just like you don't get wide open shots anymore. That's not the game. There he is. Shows with the eyes, freezes the defense, swings it back, and you got an open look. You don't need 5 seconds, right? You know, you think of the NBA at times where the play breaks down, they skip it, and the guy's standing there. No one even closes out. It's a wide open shot. You're never going to get that in college basketball. All you need is a look where you can step into it, in rhythm, and shoot it.
Much better job of distribution in this game for Villanova. 12 made field goals, 7 assists. Chris Archidiacono has come in the game, younger brother of Brian. Hunter Marks for a 1-and-1.
Talk about the assists to made baskets, and part of the issue last game was Virginia Tech switched things and actually didn't help off. So they forced you to play iso ball, and I think that took a little of the rhythm away and the balance away from Villanova's attack. And that's something you'll learn if you're Villanova. You become vulnerable if you're not balanced.
Moving screen against Cole Swider is his first foul. I mean, this is a Villanova team, John, that, as we've said, brought back everybody besides Sadiq Bey. So I think there's an expectation from some folks that, oh, they're basically a finished product, right? This is the same team, same nucleus besides Bey that played an entire season together last year. But how long does it take, even with the same group of pieces, sans one, who's a pretty good one, to get back into that sort of rhythm and flow that you're talking about?
It's hard to say. On any given year, I might have an answer. This year, there is none. There's nothing that you can plan for, predict. You can only take care of what you can control, and quite frankly, that's just getting to the next game. That's just locking things down in practice. All the cultural things that we talk about with Villanova, you focus on the little things, and that's about it.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is... Sean Farnham's got my number. That's all I need to say. I would say more, but I have to read a sponsor. It's our Game Track, brought to you by Roman. Jay Wright wanted to get his bench more minutes. Mission accomplished. Bench has as many points as the starters. Justin Moore has 13 of those starters, 18 points, and Hartford is still searching for a 3.
That was a good reset.
Thank you.
Most of the compliments that we give one another are like afterwards. You know, very few in-game. Good job.
Yeah.
You read that very well. Like, you know,
as opposed to a compliment beforehand, like, you're really going to do well in this, I think.
Yeah, there's not a lot of that.
Your next piece of analysis, John, is going to be dynamite. I just know it. Was that it?
At least you got me to stop talking.
It took a week. Gillespie for 3. Yes, Colin Gillespie. His first three-pointer of the game, and Villanova's 8th.
So offensively, when you sit down, as defenses change, you go man to zone. When you sit down on the offensive end, you give your teammates an opportunity to get to the open spot. And that's exactly what Colin Gillespie did. The open spot is just not where you're open to get a shot. It's where you're open to receive a pass.
Tracy Carter with a 2. 8 points for Carter, who has played against Villanova at 3 different universities.
That's a crazy. I saw that. That's a crazy one.
Played against them twice with Marquette way back in the 2015-16 season, Villanova's national championship year. 2 years ago with LaSalle, here with Hartford. Robinson Earl underneath, and Jeremiah Robinson Earl has his first basket of the game. Seven different Villanova players have scored. 7 out of the 9 that have appeared in the game.
Part of it is just patience. You know, you go watch that tape and you realize we played a lot, if you're Villanova, we played a lot of ISO ball. And it wasn't a bad thing. You were able to score. You were able to get the matchups that you like, but what you do is you sacrifice that balance. You sacrifice the balance. Guys are just not as interested in moving, not as interested in cutting. You're not really running to open spots because you know a shot's likely going to go up. And I like it at times. I like when you really isolate a guy, and at times you go 1-4 for Colin Gillespie when he's hot. That's all good. But you end up falling victim to what the defense wants you to do. I would rather play against a one-dimensional Villanova than a balanced Villanova. That's for sure.
Robinson Earl no good. Chris Arcidiacono in there to get a hand on the offensive rebound. Villanova has it. And then Gillespie lost it. TJ Mitchell to take away. Mitchell rejected by Robinson Earl. Samuels creates space with a shot fake. Takes it in for 2.
When was the last time you saw somebody put it on the deck, go to the basket with a line to the basket, a little lane wide open, and come to a somewhat jump stop?
About 10 seconds ago.
That was about it. You're right. Teeing you up to be snarky.
Hunter Marks just tipped that out, and it was saved by Flowers. A little chaotic basketball from Hartford to maintain possession. Hunter Marks. That's a 3 right in front of the Villanova bench.
That's great defense. It's just better offense. And Marks has that length. He's got the footwork. He can hit that step back shot. But that was a good defensive possession for Villanova.
Gillespie fails to answer. John Gallagher told us before the game, and again, insert a level of bias. His coach, he said, I think Hunter Marks can be a high major big someday.
He can. I mean, look, size is always an issue, and I'm not talking about height. It's really just that strength at the level. But he's got great skill, and footwork is everything. You realize that when you have the height to be able to shoot over top of somebody and the skill to be able to shoot the basketball, the footwork into the shot is everything.
How hard is that to teach?
Footwork?
Yeah.
Depends. Are you teaching a 21-year-old or are you teaching a 15-year-old? It's easier to teach a kid who's 15 than it is for somebody who's never done it and has always gotten away with just being quicker and more athletic than their opponents. And you see a lot of that. That's when we use the term raw. Oh, he's raw. Well, look, I'd rather have a raw athlete than a raw basketball player because a raw basketball player's got bad habits.
Samuels rattles out a 3. Ball is kept alive. 5 seconds to shoot in the half. Moore, last shot of the half, and he rimmed it out. Villanova hit 8 threes, though, in the first 20 minutes. The Wildcats lead by 19. Time for the E-Trade halftime report. Dallin Cuff, Danny Manning, and Sean Farnham. At first half points for Colin Gillespie, who misses on a 3. Hartford led by Tracy Carter. The Philly kid, grad transfer with 8. Their leading scorer in the UConn game Friday, Moses Flowers, number 4 on the left wing right now. He did not score in the first half, 0 for 4. Hunter Marks with a 5-point half. Tough one-footed fadeaway over Samuels, and Justin Moore grabs the rebound. Moore led Villanova with 13. Samuels on the kick for Moore. Drains Villanova's 9th 3 in 21 attempts.
I go back to that possession, Samuels defending Marks. Marks trying to back Samuels down. I don't think he gave up an inch. and just forced a tough shot. And when you force that tough shot, you happen to be the guy trailing the play. You step into an open three.
Carter trying to force contact, and instead he swishes it home.
It's kind of that old man game a little bit, right? You've been around the block, then again, and another time, and you start to learn how to play a little bit slow. Everything slows down, use your body a little bit more.
A takeaway for Flowers. Here is Tracy Carter. If anybody's going to have an old man game, it'll be the guy in his 6th year of college ball.
That's what I'm saying.
On the step by the Marist transfer, Austin Williams.
Rarely do you see that too, where Villanova all gets hung up on one side of the floor. There was no help in position on that skip.
Bounce feed Gillespie to Robinson Earl. Left it way long. Carter got the switch with Robinson Earl, steps inside. Austin Williams, beg your pardon. That's 6 in a row for Hartford. And a little Hawk surge leads to a Villanova timeout.
Hartford down big at the half, but starting to come back, find a little confidence. You got room to work. Austin Williams does it, a little up and under. That's a pretty move. That's pretty basketball, and that sit down very similar to what you see from Villanova when they have an open post. And Coach Gallagher is happy.
I love talking to John Gallagher before the game. He's got such a great spirit.
You can see it.
Look, this is...
Wait. I don't know if I've ever heard a coach be described as he's got a great spirit.
Yeah?
I'd like to understand what that means.
I think it's pretty simple. Gillespie for 3. He's just got an energy about him. He's a spirited guy.
He's such a New Yorker saying energy like that.
What was...
Oh, just like the energy of the city.
That. It's very vague.
Wow, that's a really good me impression. John, thank you. Whoa. Moses Flowers somehow got that ball back. And then a foul against Gillespie of the post. Do you do impressions by request?
No, I'm not very good at them, apparently.
The Rich Little of our time, John Crispin.
First team foul in the second half.
I'd like to see Marks get going. He's a guy that can shoot. He just hasn't been in position to get many looks. He's had to take a lot of tough shots, and I think that's a guy that needs to score more. It can't all come from the guards.
How do they get him looks?
I just don't think he has to be around the three-point line the entire time. You've got to dive harder. You've got to cut through. A little bit of movement to get the defense chasing. And when the ball comes your way, you're not just standing waiting for it.
Well, he's in the corner right now.
It's just that he's too good of a player to just wait for it to come back his way.
He's on the ground right now, Marks. And an offensive foul against Webley. John Gallagher, a spirited disagreement. Saturday, noon Eastern on ABC, the ESPN app. Justin Fields and number 4 Ohio State heard today that the Buckeyes are on track to play this game again, dealing with some COVID-19 cases. They will head to East Lansing, take on Michigan State. Buckeyes are trying to play the next 2 games, win the next 2 games, and get to the Big Ten championship game. There is a minimum number of games you have to hit. And if Ohio State misses one more game, they would need a rash of Big Ten cancellations to make the Big Ten championship game.
Didn't Paul Feinbaum have an idea about that? Just go ahead and change it. I heard him today. It was great. He just said, you know what? You already changed the rules anyway. Just change it again.
Honestly, this year has been nothing if not a year of improvisation. So why the heck not? Brandon Slater, a couple of threes. He was 3 for 20 from deep last year. Villanova's bench thriving in what we think is the final Villanova game in the bubble. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball. Part of something big today by supporting cancer research needed today more than ever. If you are able, go to the link on your screen, v.org/donate. 100% of what you give goes to cancer research. Man, I haven't seen that Stuart Scott clip in a while. I still get chills. I really do.
There's something about this time of year, too. You know, you think of the holidays and how much this touches people. And it's sombering and motivating and humbling all at the same time. It's, yeah.
Two quick fouls on Villanova out of the timeout. Brandon Slater's third. Justin Moore just picked up his second. Oh, Justin Moore got his third. So Moore has 3. Slater has 3. Eric Dixon will come back into the game. Dixon has 2 fouls.
Dixon had that good run in the first half. Just really active on both sides of the ball. And that's how you earn more time, right? Go ahead and make an impact.
Timeout by Tracy Carter. Couldn't get the ball in. A riveting sequence of action.
I was going to say, that was the worst.
Timeout, foul, timeout. No time off the clock. I think that entire sequence took about as long as the second half of USC BYU.
I'm going to go back. BYU is going to play a lot better tomorrow. BYU came in. I was so excited to watch this BYU, USC game. They had young athletes. Evan Mobley, one of the best players in the country, coming out as a freshman here. BYU couldn't make a shot to save their lives. They got decent looks, and I do think they're going to have a better run tomorrow. I do expect to see a better BYU team. But, man, that was tough.
We get a doubleheader tomorrow. Florida and Army first at 2:30, then BYU against St. John's. That should be
track meet.
An interesting game. St. John's put up 96. Nearly gave away a 20-point lead. Hung on to beat Boston College yesterday, 96-93. Villanova just committed another foul. Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, his second.
But you see Marks, he's got a little wiggle to his game. He's got a little something, and that's hard to cover. When you can shoot over top of somebody, when you can put it on the deck, you got a little, and I call it an awkward wiggle. Like some guys, they just have that quick shake. Kobe had a quick shake, turnaround jumper. He's got just a different pace. He's a tough cover if he's got space. I really do like his game. He's one of the guys I did look at when watching tape, look at and just say, ooh, that's a guy that could be used. That's a tough matchup, particularly in this conference.
He's a junior. Moses Flowers is a sophomore. They're 2 best scorers. The other 2 players, John Gallagher said, had to play well to have any chance today. Again, this is a Hartford team that's posted a winning record 3 years in a row in the America East. Made it to the America East Championship game last year, but about 2 hours before they were set to travel to Vermont, the season was called off due to COVID-19. They never got that chance.
A lot of those stories. Penn State going to the NCAA tournament, Rutgers, NCAA tournament. A lot of those stories where you seniors, great opportunity and just couldn't finish the season.
Villanova, by the way, has now taken 12 consecutive shots from 3-point range. Daniels hit one on the last possession. Swider here. Villanova has hit 13 threes. And not for nothing, Hartford had the second best 3-point defense in the country last year, 27.5%. I know Villanova's a lot better than the teams Hartford played, but still.
Well, I also think it has to do with the balance that Villanova's playing with. They really have been much more balanced today moving the basketball. Part of that due to the fact that not as many switches, not as many isolations. But more guys are getting opportunities at good looks.
That's his first. Team foul number 2 against the Hawks.
Line change for Hartford.
Is there a collective group that is more physically impressive than Villanova?
No, I mean, especially not now. It stood out to me considering how many teams have kids like this Hartford team does. 6'9", 6'10", but 190 pounds, 240. And all these Villanova players, Gillespie included as he goes to the basket, they all just look more muscular, thicker, more draw game ready. Yeah.
But it's even, the thing is, their training complements how they play. And I think that's one of the things that kind of modern day training has done is you look at how we want to play, and we should train the body to do that. Even with the fundamental things like a sit down, be strong legs, obviously not skipping leg day. There's a lot of things in there that they're trained to be the best version of themselves on this basketball floor. And a lot of that is some of the positionless type of stuff you see, where you see some guys playing multiple position. Colin Gillespie getting stuck in the post, but having the strength to force a big out.
Cole Swider with 11. I believe that was the first 2-point attempt of the half.
You sound really sure about it.
Second 2-point attempt of the half. Well, that's why I said I believe. Just checking with our stats guru, John Lombardo, who quickly corrected me. 2-point attempts. Gillespie had the layup on the previous possession.
That's his first personal.
And Gillespie will check out.
Number 6 against the Wildcats.
I mean, when you look at Villanova, you're talking about their physical strength. Is it too simple to say it's whatever's going on in the weight training and the conditioning program at Villanova?
Yes, it's everything. It's absolutely everything. It's what they eat and how they eat. Do they eat together as a team? And the answer is yes. They do everything together. Everything is consistent with what they do on the basketball court. And I think that's the part of culture that you talk about. And the game shifts here and there. And yes, you do the things in the weight room, but ultimately you've got to come out and perform. And one of the things they've done well here is just come out and shoot the basketball. You don't just make shots and say, oh, we shot it well. No, you get good looks and you shoot it well. And they've gotten the right looks, and guys have knocked down shots. And I do think guys like Swider and Bob, he's the type of guy who can come out and have 21 points on 7 threes in a game. You know, Thomas Walton-Tenzai was like that for Virginia, and when he started to get hot, Walton-Tenzai in this case, it changed the way Virginia was playing, and it also changed the trajectory of their season. It added depth, it added space on the floor, it opened up opportunities for everybody else. So I do think a guy like Swider needs to be more of a constant in this offense.
Villanova 9 for 25 from deep against Virginia Tech on Saturday. 12 for 28 tonight. Dixon, his first bucket of the second half. 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. A stat-stuffing night off the bench for Dixon. Five to shoot. Webley trying to get position on Dixon, and Samuels cleans it up. Samuels all the way. Jermaine Samuels with a jam.
I think the physicality of Villanova is wearing Hartford down. You can just see the rotations are a step or two behind. The communication hasn't been as good, and a lot of that has to do with fatigue.
Michael Dunn with a 3, the junior out of Matawan, New Jersey.
Timeout, Villanova.
And Villanova takes timeout.
Villanova just has it rolling. When you have it rolling from the perimeter, it usually leads to hard closeouts. When you get a hard closeout, you often have a lane to the basket. It's just too easy. Fatigue setting in for Hartford. Understandable against Nova.
Michigan State, Duke, Cameron Indoor, 7:30, and then Kentucky, Kansas. Kentucky replacing just about everything from last season. They, as always, have a great recruiting class. B.J. Boston, a very early projected lottery pick. Kentucky, though, coming off a loss to Richmond in which they did not hit a three-pointer. They were 0 for 10 from deep.
It's a good Richmond team.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jacob Gilliard, one of the best defenders in the country, is going to be disruptive for a young group that just hasn't really figured it out yet at this level. It does take time, even for some of the best kids coming out of high school. It does take time. Not everybody's Zion Williamson. Sorry.
Don't apologize to me. I know I'm not Zion Williamson. Nor am I Corliss Williamson. Nor am I even Marianne Williams. Carter for three.
He's going to lay out.
3-point basket, Tracy Carter.
Less is more, Crispin. Remember that. Tracy Carter, 13. Last time he played Villanova 2 years ago at the Palestra, 17, 8 assists. In a close game, Villanova pulled away, beat LaSalle by 7.
Get out, get out.
Dixon. Not quite.
Nice move, though. I still like it. He adds a dimension to the offense. He gives a guy a post where you can actually go down. If you got a big guy who's in foul trouble, go at him. I like what Dixon's able to do.
This is 4th game of the year. He sat out as a redshirt last year, Dixon. I like his game, too. 6'8", 260. Pennsylvania Player of the Year by USA Today a couple of years ago. And, you know, coming out party is a little strong. This is a game Villanova should win against Hartford, but after a quiet first few games, they're going to need to find some depth. And Dixon is making his case to get some added minutes.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you get on the floor and you want to earn more minutes, the question you have to, answer for coaches is like, how do you make me better? Why am I better with you on the floor? And then, do I trust you in tough situations? That's the thing. You want to play more minutes, make your team better, and then earn the coach's trust.
Got the switch right there. Did well against Williams. And a rare offensive rebound for Hartford, Moses Flowers. Moses Flowers, first bucket of the game. He had 24 against UConn Friday, and he's finally on the board.
It's tough for Moses Flowers. It's a tough matchup. You've got multiple physical guards that are switching everything, so you're not going to be able to turn a corner and create a lot. Just hasn't had many good looks.
A great name, though, Moses Flowers. That's classic.
It is. It's no Kevin Brown, but Moses Flowers can get after it. Second chance opportunities. He's fighting down, though. He's clearly not the biggest guy down there, and that's not an easy shot. I always wonder, can one shot get you going? And the answer is, at times, yes.
And at times, no, I guess.
Well, no, sometimes guys get to a point where you make one shot, and it's like the faux heat check, right?
Sure.
You're like, oh, I made a shot. Now let me chuck one. And then the bad shot brings you right back to where you were when you were 0 for 4.
I played with a lot of those faux heat checkers and
it's like, oh, I made a shot.
Basketball back at St. Chris in the day.
No, yeah, that's you got to keep
next shot hit the ceiling.
Yeah.
I won't name names, but you know who you are.
Sure, they're watching.
Marks. Villanova has never trailed in this game. Saturday, the Wildcats led by 12 in the second half. Virginia Tech came back, took the lead late. There was some funny business in the closing seconds. And then the Hokies ran away with it in overtime. Villanova dropped from 3 to 12 in the very, very early rankings. They're going to have some good tests coming up. Go to Texas on Sunday. Virginia, a couple of weeks, that game at Madison Square Garden. Then Piggies Play starts in 10 days at Georgetown.
Yep. Well, so you think about the games they've had here, and I would make the argument that this is one of the best games for them at this point.
How come?
You've come off of a loss. You've been exposed to some degree, right? You've exposed some weaknesses. They need a response. I need a better bench. We're all together as a team. We're building this dynamic. I think they're all good things, but you want to see the response to a little bit of adversity when the expectations are so high for this program. And I think we've seen a good response. Cole Swider's been great. Dixon's been great. Now you've added guys that you can trust in a game situation that's going to be a little bit more intense than, no offense, but playing Hartford.
Yeah, there are teams in the country, too, that haven't even played a game yet. We're going to see Florida tomorrow, yeah, right. Game 1. This will be game 4 already for Villanova.
New home court.
They say this is their last game of the bubble. Samuels sends it in. His second jam of the half. Ooh. Moses got away with a little behind the back flare. Marks. Got to take it strong. Robinson Earl has the rebound. Villanova +8 on the glass. Slider no go on the three, and that is Hartford basketball. Villanova looking to go to 3-1 here in of Old Saybrook, Connecticut. Vin Baker named America's best kept secret by Sports Illustrated before his senior year. He wouldn't be a secret for long. 4.7 points per game as a Hartford freshman, and 4 years later, he was the 8th overall pick in the NBA draft.
That's a good story. It really is. It's a good story. I also love some of the hardwood bleachers in the background. That was always like my favorite. The echoey gyms with the hardwood bleachers.
You remember Vin Baker well?
Yeah, I do.
Long career in the NBA, a long time with the Bucks and Supersonics. First jersey retired at Hartford.
He was also kind of like Mr. Universal, where he could be used in a variety of ways. And those are the guys that started to change the game. You know, guys with size who step out and shoot. Guys with size who can handle it. Kind of your .4s, right?
Colin Gillespie banks in. The point forward, sort of before point forwards became so in vogue. Do you know there was a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer that went to University of Hartford as well? Do you know who that was?
No, but I bet you're going to tell me.
That would be one Jeff Bagwell.
Oh, that's right. I think I know the answer and I don't get it.
Easy for you to say. John Gallagher trying to build something with his program. Only been in Division I since 1985, just a few years before Vin Baker joined. They've never made the NCAA tournament. Twice they've made it to the America East Championship game, lost to UMBC in 2008, and then last year where they never actually got to play in the game. Eric Dixon, a chance for a three-point play.
Dixon's just been in position to make good plays. And as the ball gets swung around, the paint gets opened up, you just make yourself available. And when you're available, it doesn't mean you wait for the ball to get to you and then you make a move. You start stepping into it so you get the and one, not get a block.
Jay Wright has said, look, I love this kid. He knows he has a lot of talent. He knows he has the work to do, but he's going to get there. I'll be patient with him.
Well, there's a recipe in there in this program where you see the steps. I think that's the part of culture that we can't say enough about, is when you see the steps towards progress and then what that outcome is. They've seen it 2 championships in the last 4 years. I mean, you don't have to say much more than that. Doing a lot of the little things right wins in a big way.
I mean, honestly, to some folks out there, and I get it, it probably sounds like a cliche. Oh, Villanova, culture, do little things right, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but every time you see them do more things right. And like, as just a agnostic in terms of who we root for, they're a fun team to watch. They're a fun program to be around. We were picking up things just from Jay Wright's shoot-around the other day. He was saying some things that you said you never heard at a shoot-around before.
Yeah, where he was empowering guys, saying you got to communicate, we've got to talk, even if you're wrong. Be wrong and communicate, because let your experienced players figure it out on the fly. You'll learn, but you're not going to learn how not to communicate. You're going to learn to communicate accurately. So there's little things like that I'm like, that's a deeper, that's a lot deeper than what he's saying. Because what he's doing, he's empowering his guys to make mistakes. And the guys behind him, the seniors, the experienced players that do it right, they're going to correct that team. They're going to correct their teammates, excuse me. Too many guys out there try to keep guys from ever making a mistake, and that's just not possible. What Jay Wright did was he defined what mistake he's willing to live with, and the mistake he's not willing to live with is the one that you don't communicate.
Wildcats lead by 29. They have defeated Boston College and Arizona State. Here at Mohegan Sun, lost to Virginia Tech. Going to leave here with a win over Hartford. Hartford's just hoisting 1-3 after another. Austin Williams can't connect. Leading scorer right now for Villanova, Moore and Swider each with 13. Slater has knocked down as many threes in this game as he did in the entire 2019-20 season. He was 3 for 20 from deep.
Another part of going deeper into your bench, or at least giving guys an opportunity, is they stay hungry. Sometimes you lose that hunger if you're just not getting the run.
5 players in double figures in this game for Villanova. 7 players with at least 9 points. 3:27 to go in the bubble. Villanova is going to pick up win number 3. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Hotels.com. Keep your travels flexible with free cancellation on most hotels. And Air Force Reserve. Explore your opportunities with the Air Force. And Dixon, our player of the game tonight, brought to you by Air Force Reserve. What's impressed you most about Eric Dixon tonight?
The best thing about Eric Dixon is the fact that he was given a chance and he responded. That's it. That's what you're really asking for. You're going to see little things here, some intangibles. You're going to defend well, you're going to play hard, you're going to rebound. But the fact of the matter is he actually responded and earned more time, earned more trust. And that's commendable, to be honest. I don't care who the opponent is either, whether it's Virginia Tech or Hartford.
I thought it was a pretty simple question, but I appreciate that you took the time to formulate a thoughtful answer.
Yeah, I'm patient like that. Actually, I wasn't listening.
Sorry, what?
Exactly.
Moore rolls it home. He's got a game-high 15. That 3 is not going to go from Michael Dunn. Tonight, in 23 minutes, ESPN and the ESPN app, now 22 minutes. The exclusive reveal of the college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reese Davis and the gang are going to break down the new rankings. Live interview with Gary Barta, the committee chairman. See where BYU is going to be. Cincinnati moved up at all. How do you rank this mess that's the Big Ten, Pac-12? Game day's going to Coastal Carolina this weekend. Liberty, Coastal Carolina.
Which I think is cool.
Yeah. New spot for game day. First time going to Coastal. Brandon Slater, another bucket. He's been great off the bench. Slater with 13. 3 is good for DJ Mitchell. And John Gallagher, listen, he's got timeouts. He's not going to take him with him.
I don't mind it, too. I think some people get annoyed with this. You're down big. But at the same time, every opportunity that you get in a game situation, particularly this year more so than ever before, you've got to capitalize on whatever teaching moment you have. Whatever, create a situation right now to say, hey guys, right now we are down 5, not 33. Create a situation and allow your guys to learn something here. Here's what we have to do. We have to force turnovers. We have to get shots, within 5 seconds of the shot. Something. Play a little game. You create situations in practice, but there's nothing like it in a game, particularly when you're playing against someone like Villanova.
Hey, let me ask you this. We're looking at Jay Wright at the moment. You can't really see in the shot, although our director, Mike Roig, is doing his absolute best. All right. Jay's going with a white belt here with the tan blue top. Is this a fashion no-no? Is the question I'm being asked. We have a graphic for it. That's good. No white after Labor Day. Never wear socks with sandals. All right, so I'm 0 for 2. No jean jackets with jeans. I got that one. What do you think of the white belt for Jay Wright?
Look, he can wear it. If you put it on, that might be a different story.
Well, I know that. I'm not asking.
Just saying. Look,
I don't need any more abuse from you that I already got.
Fashion favors the bold, right?
Do you have a white belt?
Yeah, I have a white belt, golf belt. It may have been retired, though.
Were you ever a participant in martial arts where you received a symbolic belt of a color?
No, I wasn't. I was never a ninja.
I don't think a white belt is one of the levels, but I didn't do any of that stuff either.
No, it probably is. I mean, how many 10-year-olds that are like, oh, I'm going for my black belt. And I'm like, I can take you. It's the weirdest thing to think, but.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you call it out. It's a very weird thing to think that
it's the first thing
a grown man could take a 10-year-old.
It's the first thing you think.
No, it's not the first thing I think.
Yes, it is. You're like, really? You're a black belt? Slow down.
It's not the first thing I think, because they could probably kick my rear end. Look at me.
Yep.
The only belts I have are because I'm too skinny for all the clothes I got. Dixon and Villanova still diving on the floor with a minute to go, up by 32. Hartford hoisting. Hawks have attempted now 23 three-pointers in the game. They've hit 7. Chris Arcidiacono not close. Dixon on the floor again. Just going to sit on the ball, I guess. And Villanova takes a timeout.
What are they kind of calling this? Like a substitution timeout? What? He didn't really call timeout, or they just kind of roll right through it. I like that. Good move.
Interesting. I mean, we got a 2-hour window to fill here for the programming folks. I thought we'd keep it going. Thought we'd take a full timeout. Caleb Daniels puts it in. Hopefully we'll get to speak with Jay Wright, one of the winning Wildcats, after the game. A jumper from Jakob Dombeck off the mark, the Colorado transfer. And Villanova can now hold the ball and end the game. Hartford was so close to the NCAA tournament last year, right on the doorstep where the season was canceled. They'll be a contender in the America East this year. John Gallagher's building a nice program in Hartford. But for today, it is a Villanova win. Jay Wright and the Wildcats will exit the bubble with a 3-1 record. And some fun games coming up. Texas on Sunday, Virginia after that. Thanks for joining us here at Mohegan Sun. For now, we're going to send you back to Dal and Sean and Danny in the studio. Guys, take it away.
Thanks, KB. Welcome to College Basketball Live Scoreboard Show.